Hey everyone, it's me, Kirk Mastin from Mastin Labs, and today I'm going to be doing an edit with some amazing community imagery. And first of all, thank you so much for sending these images in. They're amazing. It's been really fun to look through all of them, and I hope today you can see some really good edits. So let's get started, and yeah, let's have some fun. Okay, so today this first picture is by Louis Martin. And Luis asked for a Kodak portrait or any other. First of all, beautiful photo. Love it. Looks like, I don't know, looks like maybe in Arizona or Mexico or somewhere like that, but I like the desert scenery. This person is holding a Pentax 6x7 camera, film camera, which is cool. I noticed that right away. So you want a Kodak portrait? Let's check that out. So we're going to go to Portrait Original. Let's just do Portrait 400 to start with. And you can see that changes the kind of the dynamic look of the photo immediately. But there are two other steps. So beyond applying the preset, you've got white balance and exposure. Those are our three main levers that we pull to get a really good look without too much tweaking. So after applying Portrait 400, I'm going to go into exposure, increase that just a little bit, and I'm going to warm up the image just a little bit with temperature. So we've got a really nice quick edit. It looks really good. A few other things that I would do is I would probably use auto transform in our toolkit here just to straighten the image and get any kind of perspective issues out of the way. Another thing I would possibly do would be to use, let me see here, probably lens correction to get rid of that vignetting. I don't know. It really depends on if you like the vignetting or not. So this is with vignetting, that's without. But this is I'm going to edit how I would edit. Of course, you have a lot of freedom to edit how you would like to edit. But this is how I would edit this photo. There's many different ways, but I would probably take away the vignetting, straighten the image, come in a little bit tighter, and I would probably even crop to 645, which is also equivalent to 4x5. 4x5 or possibly 4x3, something like that. That's more of a traditional kind of medium format crop that I'm used to seeing when I shoot film. And the last thing I would do is probably get rid of this telephone pole here. Just a quick and dirty way of just bringing in my brush here and just deleting it. And that didn't work so great. Let me see if I can do a little better job. All right, so that's a little better. Let's get just a little bit more of that out of there. Good enough, good enough. Okay, I'll let that one slide. Okay, so here is before and after with Portrait 400. That looks really good. And yeah, thank you for sending this image in. Beautiful image. As you can see, it is super easy to edit using Mastin Labs. It's really just 3 steps. Apply the preset, adjust exposure, adjust tint, and you're done. I did a few extra things, but that gets you the basics of a really beautiful look really easily. So thank you for sending that in. All right, next photo. This is by an unknown person. Thank you for sending it in, though. I love the photo. There is no indication of which preset that you wanted or even who this is. So this is our mystery edit. So I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing on this one. Let's see. I think I'm going to start with, this kind of looks like a black and white image to me, or it just feels that way. So let's go into, let's see, where would we find a really nice black and white? I think in Adventure Every Day, I think Tri-X would be really good. So Adventure Every Day has Ektar, which people absolutely love. It's like one of our most popular looks, but it also has Tri-X, which is one of my favorite black and whites. So let's grab that out of there. So there's Tri-X. I didn't do any adjustment to temperature or tint because it's already pretty good just how it is. But if it's like really out of whack, you want to do that before you apply any kind of black and white. And it's not mandatory, but it just gets you a better base for the black and white. Black and white film is actually sensitive to color, strangely enough. It'll affect how the tones render. And you can play with that. You can add like a red filter, a yellow filter if you're shooting real film, and that will change the look of the black and white when you apply it. But I just wanted to get just start with a normal white balance when I'm doing black and white ever, and then play with it later. So this had a good starting white balance. I'm going to just decrease the exposure a little bit. It's a little bit too bright up here on her forehead. And that's a little bit too dark. Somewhere right about there looks good. I'm going to use all soft, or perhaps just highlight soft. Just as I roll over that, you can see it's just bringing down a little bit of the brightness there and the brightness there. But look at the grain. That is just beautiful. Tri-X is amazing. And it's just a really nice, quick edit with Tri-X. If you didn't want to do Tri-X, if you wanted to do something with color, we can go into the same. Actually, let's jump around. Let's go to the Founder Plus pack here. How would this look with Portrait 160 Plus? Or muted, actually. Ooh, yes. There we go. I had a gut feeling. So Portrait 160 muted is my interpretation as the founder of Mastin Labs of Portrait 160, a film by Kodak. This isn't actually completely true to the way Portrait 160 looks like one-to-one. That's in our Portrait original pack. We have that. This is my kind of softer interpretation of it, but I think it looks really good on this image. So we've got just applying Portrait 160 muted. It's a little bit pink. I'm going to just decrease the tint just a tiny bit. And I'm going to decrease the exposure just a tiny bit. So there, that's just a nice subtle edit. Beautiful. Love it. So thank you for sending this in, Mystery Person. I love it. Great photo. And thank you. And I think we have another mystery image. That's okay. Some of these have names, some don't. That's fine. I love your imagery regardless. So this image here looks like some beautiful town in France or something. I don't know. I'm just going to guess it's France. I'm going to just straighten it real quick and crop in. I like working with a little bit more subject matter in there. So before I even start, I'm doing it a little bit out of order here. I'm just getting in closer to the image. I don't know if this is what you intended, but I just think it'll look nicer if we're able to see more of what we're shooting here. And you're probably really far away when you shot this. So there you go. Okay, so let's try. Adventure Every Day has some really good landscape type presets in it. So let's just do Ektar. Ektar was made for landscape. So I apply Ektar, drop the exposure. This image is green and cool. So I'm going to increase the tint towards magenta. And where am I looking to do my tint? A lot of people ask that. I'm usually looking in some area that is neutral. So like the rooftops here, I believe are neutral. So looking in here, I'll put the tint back to where it was. So let me see. Okay, that was like straight out of camera. Looking back in here and in the haze, it looks just a little bit pink or magenta. So I'm just gonna fiddle with this until it feels right. About there. So just increased magenta like 2 points, not much. And then with temperature, I can do the same. Increase the temperature just a little bit. It's a very misty photo. This might be a good candidate for some of our more specialized tools here. Let's try. I wonder what dark and moody assist would look like on this, if it'll even work. It's one of our AI tools. So I was thinking that might cut down on the haze, give it a little contrast. Okay, so we got quite a big difference here. How about Spotlight? Yes. Okay, Spotlight's the one. Super. Okay, so what's happening here is we've got this little AI section here, and these tools will seek out the subject in your photo and allow you to adjust your subject or the background or both, or bring in sky detail or whatever using AI, which is really useful sometimes. In this case, I'm going to use Spotlight. That's going to bring out the city just a little bit more. I don't think I have this quite level. And in fact, I'm going to actually recrop and try a little different composition. I think I like that better. Composition is just a gut thing, like a gut feeling. But I think that looks really nice. So before, after, this is with Ektar, and then using spotlight and just some minor adjustments. Looks really good. Thank you so much. Love the photo. All right. So this is from Pascal Googler. Thank you for sending it in. You're asking for Fuji 400H Plus. Great choice. That is in the Founder Plus pack. So Fuji 400H Plus, we're going to apply that. Looks great. That's like a one-click film edit. We could mess with it more if you want, but let's just look at this. This is just one click. So before, after, you shot really in nice kind of overcast light, high overcast, and the white balance out of camera was pretty good. So there's not much to do. If you want to make it a little more light and airy, we have a tool for that. So we can go into the AI tools, do light and airy assist, give my computer here a chance to process that. But with light and airy assist, you can see that it's bringing out the background and a little bit of the skin to make it a little more light and airy naturally, the same way the film would. This is one of my favorite AI tools, and it's in all of our packs. Totally recommend using it if you are a light and airy type of shooter. If you want to go a little more light and airy, you can even do that. So there it is. I went a little more light and airy. It's not for everybody. It depends on your style, but it works really well with this photo. We could also do lens correction to go a little bit further. All these tools build on each other to give you that light and airy look. And the last thing would be to try a crop that is more in line with what a medium format camera would look like. So when I say that, a medium format camera, or the typical one that many people would use, would be like a Contax 645 or a Pentax 645. And that crop is not as tall when you're shooting vertically. And I prefer that for vertical shots on film rather than that super long and skinny 35 millimeter shape. Yeah. I'm going to come down a little bit to get rid of that little distracting, those little light balls at the top. So this is before and after with Fuji 400H Plus. Highly recommend the Founder Plus pack if you don't have it. It is, I made this one out of my desires from all the other packs, all the films that I'd worked on, breaking out of being 100% precise to film to just getting something that feels I want it to feel from each film. So it's a modification of some of these films, but after 20 years of working with them, this is how I wish actual Fuji 400H film reacted. So it's a little bit different. Not to say that the original Fuji pack is bad at all. It's still our #1 bestseller, but love the Founder Plus pack. And we're going to get to see the normal Fuji 400H next with Francesca Willigen's photo here. So let's go to Fuji Original, this pack here, do Fuji 400H. Going to apply that. This is shot in more direct light. It's got a much higher contrast because it's direct light. The sun is just coming directly at them rather than from behind or through some kind of diffusion like an overcast sky. A little bit harsher. But if you wanted to get more, again, of that light and airy look, it's pretty easy. So this is just one click Fuji 400H. Great colors, can't complain. If I wanted to go a little bit of a softer look, we could either do all soft, as the name suggests, or we could do all soft plus light and airy assist if you want to go even a little bit lighter. So we can, stack those on top of each other. So there's light and airy assist if you want that kind of look. So we can go backwards. So here's original photo. Here it is with Fuji 400H. Here it is with all soft. And then we can go like the last level, which is light and airy assist. And then if you wanted to, while you're on this tool, you can go up to the amount slider here and dial that back if you want to get like really fancy. But I don't really like it. I hate a complicated edit. That's why Mastin Labs exists. So I recommend less is more. Don't go crazy. Don't do a lot of work on a photo. Just a few things so that you can get a nice natural look as you're seeing. This photo, I haven't adjusted temperature or tint. It looks really good to me. So we're just going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so for this photo, was the person had just asked for feedback on it. I will do an edit and feedback just on the composition and everything else. From a family photographer point of view, and I did a lot of family photography for part of my career, I would say there's a few things I would change in this photo. I think it's really good. They're happy. I think one really important thing is that they're actually connected to each other physically. There's a lot of hands are a good way to show connection between people. I like that their hands are doing something. So bonus points for that. I think you could get in a little bit closer, just as a photographer, walk up closer and have them lean on each other or even get in a little bit tighter. I think if you are focusing on the personalities of the people in the family, getting them in closer together, hugging each other or leaning on each other, I think that brings it to even another level. But you have a good situation here with the location and the lighting, and they look really happy. So it is a really nice family photo, but if you wanted to elevate it, I would get closer physically with my camera, have them getting closer physically with each other, and then maybe be careful to watch where you're cutting off body parts here. This isn't bad. It's not, but I would say maybe get her arm up higher and then cut straight across here. Maybe make this the edge of the frame. I'll show you what I mean. So if her arm was not down, but instead was up, I would probably come up, about that high, and it already has a little more impact. And I'm also cropping out this trunk here of a tree, which it looks like a light pole or something. I don't like it, and that gets rid of it. And that alone increases the power of this as a family portrait, in my opinion. So that's my feedback. I'll do a quick edit. Let's just go into the Founder Plus pack. We'll do Fuji 400H muted. Looks great. A little bit yellow, and that's because of the environment they're in, I think. There's a lot of light reflecting around. Just going to bring down temperature. And this kid is getting a little bit green. So I'm going to go into tint and go towards magenta, just a few points. And I can look at her shirt as a reference to see where my colors are. Before, after, it's a really nice, they still look a little bit green. Okay, there we go. I'm good with this. So before and after and the crop, I think it's just a little more powerful of a family photo, but I think you did a really good job. You can definitely get the energy from these people, and I like it. So good job. Okay, beautiful sunset. It's really just a study in sky detail. I would take this one of two ways. I would either go with, again, probably, so Ektar 100 to really bring out the sky. That looks like slide film. That looks really cool. I would do something like that with maybe, and I know this sounds crazy, but maybe a little bit of lens correction. See if we can get a little more sky out in the top. It didn't really do it. Okay, whatever, that's fine. So that's just one click with Ektar. Beautiful, right? But that's about all I would do with this photo. One other way you could really take this again, though, is, let's go back to Tri-X just real quick. You could do some kind of black and white study with this photo. So black and white, do all hard. Maybe all soft, actually. And you could do something in black and white. That's pretty cool. And really get in there with the composition. Maybe we can get this line to lead out the side, the corner. Let's get a little better crop here with, let's do 4:3. Okay. Let's see if we can, there, it doesn't quite reach. Okay, I'm cheating here. I'm rotating the photo. I just want that line to exit straight out the corner for some reason. I don't know. You can do something abstract like that if you want it. That looks pretty cool. Why not? But I like your photo. It's really cool. I would either do some kind of study in black and white or do Ektar with it. All right, Spencer Brigham. You want a Portrait 160? You got it. Let's go into the Portrait pack here. Do 160. It's very mellow. It looks like film, basically. And there you go, Portrait 160. I don't see any kind of major color balance issue here. Possibly you want to go a little more magenta. Possibly, maybe a little warmer. Just from shooting like actual Portrait 160, I think this is how it would look. So thank you for sending this in. Looks really cool. Appreciate it. All right, this looks like the Seattle Aquarium. Definitely does. Maybe not Seattle Aquarium, but man, I really remember this, taking my kids to places like this when they were little. These like tanks where you can touch sea creatures is pretty cool. There is no indication of what preset you wanted, so I'm just going to pick something. Let me see here. It's not really a cinema moment. A Cinestill. Not Natura. Maybe Natura looks pretty good. So we've got Natura. There we go. I don't know what else you would want to do with this. That's a really nice, clean look for inside. Sometimes mixed lighting indoors can be a real pain in the butt, but Natura is a Japanese market only, very mellow, natural color film that is often used in low light situations. It's a 1600 speed film. It's balanced for low light, so it works really well in this case. So in the night and day pack, you can get that. It's one of my favorite. It's my favorite out of that pack. You've also got a really nice black and white in there as well. But I think Natura 1600 looks perfect for this. So hope you enjoyed that. Before, after, it's subtle, really nice skin tones, I think. Can't go wrong. It's not too much. Just looks very natural, hence the name Natura. All right. We've got another beautiful family portrait here, and there is no name on it, and they didn't say what they wanted. In a way, thank you, because now I'm going to do what I would like. I'm just going to straighten it out, and I'm going to crop in a little more. I like to emphasize the people in the photo as much as I can. I don't want to lose this sun flare though, because that's really pretty. But I think we could safely get into about there. All right, I'm going to stop messing with it. Beautiful family photo, beautiful light. By the way, really good styling, wardrobe styling. You were really careful with the palette, mystery photographer. Looks really good. And this is going to be an easy one. Let's do... My instinct is to do Fuji 400H+. That's one click. That's about as easy as it gets. That's really nice. I think I'm gonna do that. That looks really good. It really depends on what you want. You've got different looks in here. You could go a little bit warmer, a little pinker with Portrait 160+. You could do Ektar, which, I mean, I don't even know how I would describe it. It's just like a little bit cleaner color, a little bit more vibrant, pops just a little bit more in a certain way, but it's also very smooth skin. So that's Fuji 400H+, and that's Ektar 100+. Depends on what you like. I think it actually looks perfect like this, so I'm just going to leave it. Also, I want you to notice how easy that edit is, or edit was. Super easy. Super easy. If you're having trouble with your edits, I can say it's probably one of two things. One is that the original photo was shot in either very difficult light or very underexposed, or something is off. Or even just what they're wearing is just very difficult to work with. Like just the palette, all like what they're wearing in this photo and the environment and the light, notice that they all work together to reinforce this look. That's really important. So it's the actual photo matters. If you're having trouble with your edit, look at the source material. Second, don't do too much. A lot of people will ruin their photo by doing like 50 different adjustments and masks and taking it into like a portrait program or into like Photoshop and doing like lots of fancy stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it starts to look really fake. Like you could cut yourself on how sharp they are compared to the background, etc. And it just looks fake. Keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. So this is just a few steps. You have a nice look, and that to me looks like film. Okay, enough of that. Let's move on. This is by Stacy Vandis at Portrait 400. This is an example, like beautiful photo, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we are working with a more difficult situation here with what looks like maybe a double exposure or like shooting through a window. I'm not sure, or there's just some kind of foggy haze thing going on here. It looks like a double exposure maybe, but we're already starting with a more difficult situation compared to here. And I haven't even started editing yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be more difficult. But we're going to make it work. It's going to be great. So Portrait 400. Let's go to the Portrait Original Pack, Portrait 400. I'm going to increase the exposure a little bit, warm it up a little bit, take a little bit of that green down. All right, so now we can see what we're working with here. I'm going to straighten it, do all my basic stuff here. We're going to crop it, not so tall. So here we go. This is Portrait 400, starting to come together. Now, we need a little more detail. How are we going to do this? We could do all hard. That'll bring in just a tiny bit, but not in the way that I want. So what else can we do? We could do spotlight maybe? That looks fake on this one. I don't like that. Let's see. Light and Airy assist. Absolutely no. Dark and moody. Yeah, maybe we got something here. Okay, dark and moody assist. I'm digging that. I think that kind of brings it all together. So dark and moody assist changes some parameters of the image to look a little bit more like underexposed film or film that you've pushed. And I think it makes her pop just a little bit in a natural way. Like I said before, you want to keep it natural. You don't want to go crazy with everything. So I think that looks good. This is before, that's after. All right, so we got 2 more photos here. This one doesn't say what to do exactly, or actually this is our last photo because the one on the end here is the family portrait that I did earlier. So for this photo, I swear like maybe flash was used. I think it was. I can see a little sparkle in their eyes. Let me just check. Did the flash fire? It did fire. I knew it. It's not a bad thing. It's just something I could tell by the lighting. So I'm going to straighten this up a little bit. Love what they're wearing. I think that's going to go really nicely with the cactus. I think this will be a pretty easy edit. Let's go into the vintage slide film pack because we haven't touched that today. And let's just see, Ektachrome, Provia, or Belvia. I think Ektachrome is looking pretty good. So we'll do Ektachrome. This is the vintage slide film pack, and it's vintage because a lot, like if you were to go to a thrift store and get old slides, you often get this kind of, I don't know how to explain it, a matte glow, sometimes a warmer matte glow, and that comes through in the Ektachrome that we were using for these tests. And I think it works really well with this photo. So I'm going to increase the exposure just a little bit. I think I'm going to do highlight soft. Yeah, highlight soft, and that kind of models that brighter tone on her face. It brings it down a little bit. So that's before using highlight soft, and that's after. And there you go. That's it. That's it. Super easy. As you can see, if you're watching this right now in the group, in the Mastin Labs group on Facebook, if you're not a part of it, you should definitely join. You already know how easy this is, like how easy it is to get a beautiful look. But yeah, just keep it simple. It's just a few steps. Find the preset that fits the photo, the film look that you want, and you're golden. You're good. It's that easy. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for sending in these photos. It was really fun. So have a great day and happy editing.